Welcome to the Octopod. I'm Kyle Davis, head of the Office of the CTO. Join us as we dive into the latest technologies and trends shaping business. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, a business leader, or just looking to stay ahead in the digital age, this podcast is for you. Let's unlock opportunities with technology together. Let's jump in.
Hi, this is Tim Russell. I'm the Chief Technologist for Modern Workspace at CDW UK. And today I'm here talking to Ben Ward, the CTO from Liquit or Recast Software. Ben, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, as Tim said, I'm Ben Ward. I'm the Field CTO UK and I at Recast Software, formerly known as Liquid.
Excellent. We've been talking for some time around what Liquid does and the application. And for those out there, do you want to just really give a high-level perspective of why Liquid's really interesting to the market or the conversations we're getting with our customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I said to you before, Tim, that one of the things that end-user computing or the workspace has left out over the past couple of decades, it makes me feel old, by the way, is applications. There's been this huge focus on delivering Windows. Everybody thinks about Windows and Mac OS and those platforms for productivity. But I think what's been forgotten is applications, delivering applications, updating applications. And I used to have this whole mantra, which was desktops are great, operating systems are fantastic, but without the applications, they are useless. There is nothing you can do with the desktop if it doesn't have applications deployed to it, and especially the right applications. I think we've got to this sort of pivot point now in 2024, a couple of years after the pandemic, where everybody is now looking at their application estate and they're looking at how to modernize where they are, and that everybody is on a journey from where they were, whatever their I shouldn't say old, but wherever their infrastructure was, wherever their end user computing delivery was, to where they want to be. And applications is absolutely core to that whole transition.
And I think what's important in this conversation, what I've seen is, we have the legacy way of installing a fully loaded application. You're right. Decades ago, you put the CD in the drive and install it.
Floppy disk, Tim.
I am that old, thanks. But that's moved on because the speed of change of applications, the requirement to keep them up to date from a security perspective, and the choice users have in their devices, they could be operating on a desktop, they could be operating on a laptop, they could be operating in a virtual environment. And businesses want to provide a productivity capability to these users so they can switch platform but have a similar look, feel, and experience. Because most applications that utilize in the business world, they operate across all of these platforms. But what's missing is the way that the user can gain access to those applications. Now, I think a lot of the conversations we've had is about that. But do you want to touch on what you've seen in the delivery of Liquid and this application capability that's delivered a difference, not just to IT, but to user experience?
Yeah, if we focus on what the user experience is like, I think for a long time, people were required to use whatever application was installed on their endpoint. IT would decide what application they should use, and then that user would have to use that application. I think there was this trend in IT, which sort of started around about 2008-ish with the implementation of iPhones. With smartphones, there's a trend of consumerization where people could just go into an app store, select the application, then have that installed. And that made the old way of delivering applications to Windows and Mac look anachronistic, really old-fashioned way of doing things. So you had this user expectation, which was, I just want to be able to select the application that I need to do my job. I want to go into an app store, click on that, and then have that installed. And that's exactly what Liquid does from a user perspective. You have this concept of a catalog. A user can select the application and then the application will be installed transparently. There's no next finish. There's no checking prereqs. There's none of that. They can just simply select an application, then that application will be fully installed on their endpoint. And simple things like having the shortcut to the application on the desktop or in the start menu. So you don't necessarily have to go through a separate portal to get access to the applications. And this is how we've managed to bring this consumerization, this consumer-like experience to users, to employees using Windows and using Mac. It's a really critical piece.
And I think from a business perspective as well, I love this idea that I've got one place to go for my applications. whatever device, whether it's the App Store or it's the Play Store, I want an app, I go and find it. It could be freemium, it could be paid. But from a business perspective, you gain control over that and you create the same look and feel across multiple operating systems, as we said. The virtual environment, the physical in the Windows operating system or the Mac operating system. Now, obviously, we also have to look at the fact that how many applications are used within businesses. We hear loads of different ones. We hear massive figures within small organizations, and then we notice that running 15 different versions of Chrome, for example. Now, Liquit has a library. Do you want to just touch on the library and how that makes a difference to IT operations?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to number of applications, one of our biggest customers has over 6,500 applications in their estate. I mean, Tim, I don't think I could name 67 individual applications, let alone 6,500 apps. And that problem that you call out, having multiple instances and versions of an application, most of the time, organizations have all of these versions, not by design, but simply because of drift across the end user estate, where a particular version, I mean, Chrome's a great example, a particular version of Chrome has been pushed out to an endpoint, and then a different version, and Chrome will automatically update itself if you want it to. What Liquit has is the most comprehensive app store in the industry, okay? And from as of June 2024, that app store includes Mac apps and it includes portable applications for a total of around about 6,000 applications, okay? And that's a point-in-time snapshot because the application estate within the Liquit Setup Store, that's our app store, is increasing all the time. And from an admin perspective, it just means you can go in, select from this store, then have those applications ready to deploy. They can be deployed to your end users across thousands of endpoints, hundreds of endpoints, tens of endpoints, however many you've got, automatically. So it could be Windows, they could be Mac-based devices. Those applications will be deployed. One of the really critical things that we do, and we have a whole team of people looking after this app store, is as soon as the vendor, in this case it could be Google with Chrome, releases an update, then IT is in charge of that. IT has complete control of that. They can decide whether or not that update gets pushed out to end users. So you can have one version of Chrome deployed across thousands of endpoints, all updated whenever you want them to be updated, but all on the same version. And the really cool piece about this, and sometimes how I position this, is that Liquit is, at its heart, a really powerful automation engine. What you can do is you can push out Chrome, one instance, but you can add configurations. So maybe different groups of users get different configurations of Chrome. But you've only got one instance, and that instance comes from the Liquit Setup Store, so it's the latest version, and you can update it. Now, that's critical for a whole number of reasons. Cyber Essentials Plus is a really key topic that we're seeing a lot at the moment, and this is like the only solution that fixes keeping your applications up to date within 14 days of the vendor releasing a patch. So yeah, from the admin perspective, it's easy to get the applications. From the user perspective, it's easy to consume those applications. And that's how we're making sort of applications cool again across organizations. If you can ever say that applications are cool.
Well, they enable us to do our job, let's be honest. So look, it sounds almost too good to be true. I think there's a conversation to be had if any customers interested in seeing how this works. We can offer proof of concepts. They can reach out to us and we can arrange a proof of concept. And I think, we're probably going to have another podcast or we'll maybe do a video where we actually look at how this works, because I have seen it and I've seen what a difference it makes to not just the end user experience, but the IT organization. And it doesn't matter when you listen to this, there's probably something in the news about someone being hacked. And half the time, this is down to end user estate not being patched, not having the correct version. It doesn't matter how many security products you throw at a platform. Ultimately, if an application has a hole, it has an issue. And I think one of these easy to address problems is to say, well, let's go with a controlled application estate. And for me, Liquit Recast is one of those ways of doing it that makes a massive difference, but also simplifies how an application can spread the resources internally and not have to focus on application packaging and delivery, because there's a consumption-based model for them to use, but also that they can deliver to their end users. With that, Ben, I'm going to keep it short. Thank you very much
for tuning into today's episode. Be sure to check out the back catalogue for more great insights. Don't forget to subscribe via your favourite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. We appreciate your support. And if you have a topic you want us to cover, feel free to reach out. Catch you next time.